Hi everyone. So, Catherine here from Ink Finger Cat. Hello, for those that don't know me. I'd love you to subscribe, so do all of that stuff. I'll tell you that at the end as well. I have just made this super cute card. Isn't it just so cute? I love it. Absolutely love it. I'm letting the glitter glue dry at the moment, which I actually added after I've taken the pictures for my blog. I didn't put the camera on, and I really thought it deserved a camera, but I don't remake cards. So I thought I would turn this into a technique-based video. I was asked last year to do some technique-based videos. I've not done very many of them because this year's been a little bit upside down. So I thought, well, why not? But I thought I'd just first of all, even though I look like a wreck, I would put the camera on and say hi first, and then turn it around and you'll see what I'm up to. Okay, first things first is I am using dies that are from Alex Siberia Designs. This one is called Trendy Botanicals die set. I know it's still available on their website, but I die cut some scraps, so I will need to die cut a few more. I think I'll just go with some plain white to do die cutting. Maybe we'll do a bit of extra that pink, maybe. I'm literally just pulling out scraps. I'm not thinking about it. I'm just going to pull out some bits and pieces. You know what, let's go all peachy pinks. Okay. And we are not going to make the same card because I don't make the same card over and over. And look, I've still got some white over here as well. Silly. Okay, so I will do my die cutting. And these are sort of layered die sets. So for example, on this one, this cuts out the entirety of that flower. But that bit you want green, that bit you want a colour, and that bit you want a different colour. Or you could just do them all on white and then colour your scraps as you go along. So we'll start with that one as a white one. Okay. The leaves, I think we will definitely do the same as I did on that because I really love the way that came out. And I don't think we can fit it on, we can fit both of those on there. There we go, that's probably a better way of doing that. And then I think we'll just die cut some of these out of the colours that we have. What's the other die in the set? This one. And again, this is one where it would be green and then the colours. So we probably need to stick that on the white as well. Will it all fit on one? Probably will. Just about. Might need to do a bit of fiddling, but I'm sure I can get this to work. There we go. So I will do my die cutting and then I shall come back and talk. So I'll just jump on here whilst I am doing the die cutting and do a little voiceover. I don't really think too hard when I'm doing this kind of die cutting. I just take scraps of cardstock, run them through. I'm not thinking about an end result. I mean, obviously in this case I am thinking of an end result. I know what my technique is, but I am not thinking about the card I'm going to make. I'm just going to die cut a whole load of them, and any I don't use I will pop in a pouch for future crafting use. So it's not like anything kind of goes to waste. If anything, this is the least wasteful way of doing things, but it just takes some of those scraps out of my pouch of scraps, but it means that I am getting some stuff there, some colours. I am choosing sort of obviously whites, and then I have chosen colours that all kind of work together, if that makes sense, knowing that I'm going to probably end up making a bright card at the end of this. But yeah, I would say don't think too hard about your choosing at this point. Your easiest way to do is just die cut more than you were ever going to need, and that will really help. Now, the one thing I would absolutely always die cut more of is leaves, and I think probably my final card that I made was less leaves than I would want to. Anyway, back to past Catherine. Okay, I've had a little tidy up. Done all my die cutting. That's still drying, so let's move it off to the side so we don't mess it up. Right, let's start with the leaves. I think we'll just do those 3 for the moment for the purposes of this video. Now, you can choose to colour in your blank die cuts however you want. I'm going to go dead simple and use alcohol markers. Okay, because you get good coverage really quickly. I think we might go for a slightly different colour scheme from last time. So last time I used those 2 colours as my kind of bases. So I think we'll go with a slightly more tealy colour. And let's see what happens with that. And we are just going to literally go over the whole thing. I'm being a bit scribbly. I'm not really concerned. It'll all dry back fine. And the bit that will make it really special is when we add the ink to it in a minute. So I'm not so concerned about how this looks right at this moment, because I know it looks a little bit of a mess. Now, you could go into a bit more effort at this point and you could colour your die cuts using your alcohol marker techniques in terms of a dark and a light and kind of blending them out, etc. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go for the cheap and easy version of using my blending brushes and other inks over the top. Okay. Now, those have not come out quite as dark as I would have wanted. Let me see if there is. I think, yeah, we'll go for maybe that one, Light Bermuda Bay. Let's see what that's doing. It's a little bit darker, just a little bit darker, which I'm going to do on the, look at the state of my brush, it's really bad. I do not look after my alcohol marker supplies very well. But hey, I use them and that's the important part. But I can't really do precision with a nib that looks like that. Right, happy with that. Now, what we're going to do is now bring those to life a little bit more by doing some inking on them. Now, I am using a Waffle Flower grip mat. I'm pulling out 2 different greens. I have pulled out Tranquil Tide and Gumball Green. Now, these are not necessarily greens that are available anymore at Stampin' Up, so they're just greens that I happen to own. Gumball Green, it's much more of a Kelly green, and can you see there? I've immediately changed that leaf. It's really changed from how it was into something a little bit more interesting than the first one. Just grab another one of those trays just so I can start putting things in that I've already used. Now, on the other one, I'm actually going to use the Tranquil Tide. I'm not entirely sure I think this is a Island Indigo I've used this for, so this is a bit darker, but it'll be fine. Okay, and I could choose to do darker at the tips and lighter at the middle, or the other way around. So I'm going to do darker at the stem. But you can see there, I am blending in a way that I would normally blend in terms of little circles, but I'm not going all the way to the ends of the leaf. And that is just giving it some dimension. So if you looked at the 2 next to each other, this one looks quite flat. This one looks more defined and a little bit more fun. And that's kind of the technique that what I'm showing you here. Now, obviously these ones started life as white and then have become green. So we've got the sort of the 3 different versions. You've got a plain one, then we had the version where it was just the plain colour, and now we've got the ones with the definition to them. Now we're going to do exactly the same But with our flowers, I am going to just take a wet wipe and I don't want to pick up green off that onto my pink flower. Somewhere is a cloth. Okay. So I have a couple of different pinks of this base. I'm thinking I'll probably use this one because it works with that. So we'll start with this one. Now, I could go for a pale pink or I could go for a bright pink. What shall we do? I think we'll start with a pale pink and then we'll move on to, I've got strawberry slushes, which I think I used before. Let's go with a slightly paler ink. To be honest, I think it's still quite bright. It's called Sweet Sugar Plum, but it is a slightly more lilac-y pink. And this time I'm just going to blend from the outside of the flower, just to give a bit of definition to the edge of those petals. I'm not so concerned about doing the middle because we know we're going to cover it with the other piece. But can you see how that's immediately started to lift it and give it some dimension? Now with the other one, we're going to go in with a darker pink. Let's use our cerise looking blending brush. And this time I think we will go from the middle. And that'll give somewhere for that central spot to sit, as well as the edge. But you see I'm keeping my blending tool almost on a bit of an angle and just bringing it in from the sides. The sticky mat's not very sticky because I've just wiped it. So that was silly of me, but never mind. Right, this one here, you can see this is the very pale pink. But what we'll do is we'll go in with a really heavy blend of the ink. And I think when I add the glitter glue on top of it, that's going to look really cool. Okay, so that's one of the flowers. And let's repeat with some of the other layers. So we have, gosh, my grip mat is very stained. Doesn't stop it from working. The only thing that stops it from working is if it's wet, it becomes slidey, not sticky. So it does need to dry in between. What have we got going on here? This one is, I believe, this part. And then we also have, oh, another green element. Let's find the green element. If we can. Did we cut one from white? We did. Okay. So this green element sits on the top like so. So we're going to have to do some colouring in again. Let's choose a different colour again. So this one is a Just Jade in the dark. And there we go. And again, I think I'll come in with the Tranquil Tide. And this time we'll just do it over the tops of the edges. Oh. And then again, very end of that. Although to be honest, I don't think you'll probably see that on the final card. Right, we could do with kind of an orange colour. And we could do this bit in the pink again. I think, unless I've got another one. Oh, I've got that yellow. Choose the yellow. That would be more fun, wouldn't it? Add in a different colour. So, I think we will go with the yellow as the base. And on the original card, you can see there we've done the yellow and then the orange, but we've made the yellow kind of creep up it. So this time we'll go the orange, we'll do dark at the base. and then we will use the yellow to just do that top, because that's it that's going to peek out on the top. And then we're going to have our green stem going across like so. We could do with maybe that for going underneath. And because I didn't obviously cut that full yellow, just added a bit of that, and that matches quite nicely. Even though it started pink, it's got those orangey tones, so that works nicely. Right, the final flower is a 3-layered flower. So we have this, we have this, and then I think we've got a pink. Or maybe, yeah, we have got a pink. Gonna sit in between them. So we're going to use that yellow again, and this is going to come up from the base. This time we're perhaps going to turn that pink into a bit of an orangey colour, and then we'll do the bright pink on the cerise base. Now this time we're going to go from the top. Actually, most of that's going to look orange because of the fact that it's come down quite far. This one we're going to go with the pinks. And again, we're just going to do that very top section because that's the only bit of the die that's going to show. Oh, we've not done the little tiny flowers, so maybe not quite the last flower. Just do that, just to leave that to dry. Do you know what we will do? I think we will start on this, and then we need to add the little flower heads. So I think we'll go for the purples. I haven't really brought in much purple, and I have got purple that's been die cut. So let's add those. Sometimes these trays are a great idea, but then you think, how can I have lost something in such a small tray? But it happens. Okay, let's start with, what was I doing? That bit, I forgot that bit. Now we could, do you know what? Let's just try inking this from scratch, so you can see the difference it makes. So if I use my actual grip mat, would be sensible, because it just helps keep them in place. You see how soft it looks if you do it just from there? Well, I want a little bit more solid colour to come through, so I'm actually just going to tweak it and bring in that green, the tranquil side, to just define it a little bit more. So you can see how much better that looks. Even though it's just two different colours of ink, it just looks so lovely. I'm going to go a little bit further up that one because I want it to be just a little bit more defined. And then, do I go and grab a purple? Why not? Got every other ink colour out, might as well go with purple. Let's go with Elegant Eggplant, which is dark. Don't think I used as dark a one on the original card when I was bringing in the purple. And I'm just going to do it where I can to be just on the edges rather than all over it. I think the smallest one's probably got it all over it. Whereas this one, I just want it to be on the edges. Perfect. So I'm going to go and shove all these inks away because we have slightly taken over now. I've used all these inking blending brushes. You use any kind of blending brush that you want. Small ones will probably be better for this kind of detailed work, but I use a mix of my Kingston Crafts ones and the ones I bought years ago off Amazon. So tidy up time. Okay, so now we have our elements. I am going to do a similar idea as I did last time, as in I will use a piece of vellum to create my base for my little cluster. I've not decided which card blank I'm going to put it on. I might put it on the same, might put it on something different. So I'm going to go for around about 8.5 by 11.5 centimetres. That just feels like a good size. It's probably bigger than the last time. It's definitely longer, but it's about the same size in terms of width. Okay, and now it's just about assembling and working out how you want your items to look. I will use my glue. The reason being is that I want a little bit of wriggle room. Okay, now there is on the design, there is a picture so you can see how it aligns. Do you have to put it that way? No, you don't. I actually think, yeah, this one does follow kind of the bumps that are on there. Would anybody notice if you'd done it slightly wrong? No, of course they wouldn't. Okay. Sometimes it's handy to have a pickup tool. Where did I put my little pickup tool? I definitely had it earlier. There it is. Just especially with slightly smaller pieces, it's a bit easier to just pick them up and pop them like that. So I tend to make things a bit at a time. I don't worry about assembly yet. I'm literally just deciding which bits goes with which, and then I will set them aside to kind of have that glue dry a little bit before I move on. So I'm hoping that this is, oh, that's the wrong thing. So don't do what I've just done. This belongs on this. Yeah, I'm hoping this is a useful video to people, that they're going to enjoy seeing how I construct these sorts of things. Now, I must admit, on this flower, I don't really like the fact that this bottom layer is not connected to the top layer with the leaf. So I am going to just trim it off. And remember, you can always, you can do your doctoring, you can do surgery to stamps, and you can do surgery to die cuts. You do not have to have them exactly how they have been cut out. And then this piece goes on the top here. Isn't that gorgeous? Just love it. Love it with these really vibrant colours as well. I'm not often very good at vibrant colours. I tend to be more of a pastels. Tends to be more of a go-to for me. Don't know why, just is, but I am loving these vibrant colours. Okay, and then I'm gonna pop this like so, and then this is gonna go top. Another little hint. I saw this on somebody else's. When you've got globs of glue like I just had, use them on the back of your hand just to take off the blobs. That can easily be wiped up. I mean, it's no good if you're not keen on being mucky fingered. One of my friends really used to hate it when we used to do mixed media. I'd be like, oh, just use your finger, it'll be fine. No, she didn't like that. So I get it's not for everyone. But yeah, it's a good way of not having it splurge out at the sides, because you've already kind of done that press and got rid of the excess. Okay, we are going to do glue on the die cut area. I am gluing down to. I'm not concerned about it being lots of glue because it doesn't need to be. And then I'm going to use my little pickup tool and place them into where they belong. And these ones are really easy to align because they've all got a slightly different head to them. So it's quite easy to see which one belongs where. And having a wet glue like this, it's really good for having that little bit of wiggle room. And you'll have seen that that one lifted off, but it will be fine. It will have now had enough time to adhere. Let's just take a little bit more glue to this bit because it has dried. this little one, like so. Okay, now this is a good point in which, if you have got time to wait, you might want to add glitter glue or something along those lines, because I'm thinking it might be nice to glitter glue those flowers, etc. But you would then need to make sure you let it dry. Am I very good at that? No, don't have patience, don't have time or energy. So instead, I'm going to choose this as my card. So these are Kingston Crafts card bases that have just done really well on Hobby Maker. I don't even know if there's any available left. They are 5x7. They came in a bundle with some other stuff, the amazing vellum and stuff. But I don't want a 5x7 card. I want a fairly standard British sized C6 card. So I am going to trim mine down. Nice and easy. And for me, British size C6 is not in inches, it's in centimetres. It's 14.9 centimetres and 10.5 centimetres. Don't know why that's what it is, but that's what it is. Okay, we're going to assemble now a little cluster. So this time I think we're going to go like so. I think we're going to have that coming out the side here, this coming out the side up the top, maybe there, and then we're going to have this bit coming out down here and a leaf coming out there, and I think job's a good one. How simple. I think we do need to move that up a little bit, maybe that bit up a little bit. So yeah, I think that works. So this is where I try my hardest to remember where everything is. A little bit of glue. Going to take that off. We're going to put the glue under the leaves here, here, here. Okay, we're going to try and remember how that worked. Let's guess it there. And like so. And then this bit round here, maybe that way a bit more. Okay, and I'm going to find something heavy, an acrylic block, to just pop down on the top, and that will then be left there to dry. Did catch a little bit of the glue there. Let's just move that. There we go. And I'm just going to leave that to dry for a little bit. And then we are going to, we will then pop some adhesive foam on this one. And you'll see I'm sort of sticking it just in the middle for the moment. I think we can probably put a bit up here and then a little bit down here. I think the others are all going to be touching, but again, to give us some wiggle room, we are going to put some liquid adhesive on here, and also a little bit just around there where it might catch the other elements. You don't need to leave it for long on there. I think that works lovely. Okay, and now we're going to think about a sentiment. So you all know I batch make sentiments. So you all know. If you don't know, there is a video in the techniques what are they called? In my Technique Time playlist. Playlist was the word I was trying to come up with. And in that, there is a playlist for me making sentiments, batch making sentiments. And again, I use my scraps to do it. Okay, are we happy with that? I think we are. That's going to look fabulous on that card front, don't you think? Okay, we are going to choose a sentiment from one that's already done, because that saves us time, especially when we've spent quite a while making the card. So last time I did use this one, but with the purple foil. So actually, no, I think we'll just go with Happy Birthday for this one. I think that'll work with the dark purple behind it. So we are going to glue this now down. You can see it looks a real mess underneath. Doesn't matter what it looks like underneath. No one is going to see it. So you could be more precise with your glue if you want, but to be honest, if no one's going to see it, why would you bother? Okay, I'm just putting little bits of adhesive down in the bits where I know it's not going to show through the vellum. I will grab my Kingston Crafts little tape runner though, because you know what, this never shows through vellum, and just on those smaller pieces I want to make sure I've definitely got it adhered. And then we're going to line it up, because it is a striped background, so we don't want it to not be aligned. Perfect. Then we're going to decide on our sentiment. Are we going to raise it up? I think we might. I think we will pop some foam. I'm usually quite generous because I think there's nothing worse than a saggy sentiment. So we'll be quite generous, but again, wiggle room, always good. Bit of liquid glue. And again, I'm trying, sorry if my head comes into the shot, but I'm trying to keep it aligned because there are stripes on the back of the card base. There we go. Now, this year has been all about me trying to do something about the insides of my cards. So I am going to stick one of those cut-off strips on the inside. And I think we'll put a different birthday sentiment on the inside. We'll just stick this one that's kind of the peachy colour. I think on the other card I did put another flower on the inside, but I've not got time today to do more inking. I've already done enough with this video, and obviously I still got to edit it. So I think, barring a little bit of glitter glue, now I know I've had mine hang off, so it is something to be mindful of. I've got the 5x7 envelope, so it will fit in that. So these are the envelopes that come with these card blanks. So I might just pop it in a bigger envelope, just so that that hangs off. Or I could trim it. I probably won't trim it because I like the hangy offy bit, but that's what that will do. Right, glitter glue for the centre of that one. So I could use any colour of glitter glue because I've got all the ones from the Kingston Crafts sets, but I'm going to go with the pink. So the glitter glue itself, the glue is fairly clear. It's the glitter itself that's got pink iridescent in it. It's called Cotton Candy, this one, and it's a lovely like pale glitter glue. That's what I've used on this one too, and you can see it's nearly dry. I'm very tempted to put my finger in it, but I won't. But you can see there that it's sort of got the pinky purpley colour in the iridescence. So when it dries, it goes flatter. At this point, it's still quite raised. Now, do I? Very tempted. No, I'm not going to. I'm not going to, even though I was very tempted. So I hope you've enjoyed that. It was obviously focused on the technique of inking your die cuts to give them that dimension and shape and something a little bit different. Also colouring them with either your alcohol markers or your inks, but just stopping them from looking so flat. And I am delighted with both of my cards. I think they're super cute. Pretty much made from scraps, didn't cut into any new card. Obviously the card blanks come patterned from Kingston Crafts, so that gives you, you know, a fair starting point. And obviously they are super vibrant, super colourful on this range. I just love them. I think they're great. And now I need to do a big tidy up. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this. Please do give me a thumbs up if you did. Subscribe to see future videos. Told you at the beginning I'd tell you to do that. There are more videos coming. Don't know when, don't know. I'm sort of at the point, I'm filming this in May. I'm at the point where I'm like, I really need to start my Christmas in July work. Because doing a video every day for a whole month is quite a lot of work. So I do need to do that. But do you know what? It's a bit of a rainy day today when I'm filming it, and working with all this colour and bright summery stuff is a bit more appealing than Christmas right at this moment. So yeah, so I need to do that. Okay, enough waffling. I've done a little bit of tidying, see, not very much. I hope to see you again soon. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time, bye bye.